Hari Om. The Atma Samyamana Yoga is coming for the conclusion, coming for the ultimate stage of declaration. A lot has been discussed by the Lord. In fact, one entire darshan, Yoga darshan of Patanjali Maharaj, or the Yoga darshana, although Patanjali Maharaj is not the one who gave Yoga darshana, he was the one who continued to narrate the darshana, because the Yoga darshana existed much before Patanjali Maharaj. That entire darshan has been discussed threadbare with the Arjuna, and now before concluding the Adhyaya, Bhagavan is giving the last fully packed 2 shloka, for which Gurudeva himself, an authority, says that volumes can be written. If volumes can be written, then at least few words should be understood by us. First of all, the shloka itself is dominated by a word adhiko. This word comes 3 times. Adhika means some is a nyunatama, some is higher. So there is a comparison here, there is a tulana. Now when the tulana is there, the question comes here that what comparison is being made? And moment there is a comparison, naturally we compare only through Panchami Vibhakti, because Panchami is the Vibhakti of Sanskrit used for comparison purpose. And that is why we see the words all in Panchami. Tapasvi bhyaha, karmi bhyaha, jnani bhyaha. It is in Panchami. So one thing is very clear from the arrangement and the Vibhakti used in the entire shloka, that this is a comparison. The question comes here that even in sadhana also there is comparison. In our day-to-day world, we keep comparing. There is no the Vyavaharik Vishwa without comparison. That is agreed. But why there is a comparison even in spirituality? One needs to understand that the comparison in Vyavaharik Vishwa is a negative connotation, while the comparison or tulana in spirituality has a positive connotation. Now, how this comparison comes into the first place itself? The very reason I am into this samsara and plagued with the sorrows and happiness is because I have descended from my original sthiti. I am chuta. I have fallen down. There is a skhalana. From where? From that place where I should have been there. The place where you don't fall, which is called achyuta. The Lord Krishna is achyuta, never fallen. From there, I fell down, and this falling downwards is discarding the all-pervading consciousness and making myself smaller and smaller by covering myself with the help of my avidya or ajnana, and I have become a embodied person. Upadhi krutata. Now if I have to go back to my original sthiti, if I have to merge myself with achyuta, if I have to stop my skhalan or falling down, I start back in the same manner. And while doing that, I start dissolving what has actually brought me down here. That means I start dissolving layer by layer my undue layering which I have done. The upadhis that I have done, the delimited adjunct that I have taken, I will start dissolving it one by one. The outer coats are to be dissolved first, which are done through the sadhana of shama and dama. But while dissolving these outer coats of bondage that I have taken upon myself through series of births, I will have to do some active practice to dissolve them, which is called sadhana. In that, first thing I do is my body and mind have gotten used to certain things while descending from the topmost of the consciousness to the smallest of the consciousness. And those habits which I have acquired births after births, called vasanas, that have actually embodied me, or that have actually bonded me. So I have to do active efforts to dissolve, destroy, work against those vasanas. Since vasanas are nothing else but the children, the mother is desire. So if there are too many children born to this mother called desire, there is no point in me killing many children. I have to kill the mother itself. In order to do that, I have to act in a situation which will not allow the mother called desire to beget a child called vasana. How do I do that? I make the place where desire is born, my mind, so hot that the desire finds it very difficult to procreate vasanas. How do I heat my mind? Because that is where the desire is born. Desire gives birth to vasana. So what do I do there? I heat my mind. This heating is by acting against pratipaksha bhavana, against the desire. So every time I feel like doing something which is not good for my spiritual development, good for spiritual development is shreyas, not good for my spiritual development is preyas. So anything like that happens, I have to do active resistance to that, which is called creation of heat, which will make such vasanas or desires unstable and ultimately burn them out. This heat is called tapa or tapas. So austerities, you try to become austere. Austere means opposing actively, deliberately the tendencies which are constantly pushing and coming, gushing forward. Hey, there is a Sunday and I must go to Shravana Bhavan. The desire came from the vasana, previous experience. Now, an active effort, no, I shall not go, but sit and read something which is called scripture. Maybe I may understand, I may not understand, but at least I am actively opposing something. Once somebody does this, then the tapas has already begun. Harder the outer coat of bondage, stricter and stronger should be the sadhana. On the palate, on the senses, on the eyes, on the ears, I cannot stay without a perfume. I am addicted to the desire of smelling nice. I feel like always watching the movies and the dancing ladies and whatnot. The eyes are addicted to certain things. So tapas would mean I shall not. Give an example. After the appendectomy of Gandhiji, he was asked some bed rest. So he was made, some arrangement was made in Bombay, in Juhu, in one of the freedom fighters' home, where Gandhiji went, and he was told that Gandhiji, there is a new thing has come, invention has come. It is called film. So can we run a film for you? Now Bapu did not know what film was, so he said okay, and the film started. This is of course from the silent movie era. And when the film was about to be shown, it was an American film in which a lady was shown swimming in the swimming pool with a bikini. Bapu immediately said, stop it, I am not interested. What happened? Tapas. Bura mat dekho, bura mat suno, bura mat bolo was nothing else but the tapas. Now, in comparison to this austerity, which is basically a shamadama stage, yogi is more advanced in the sense he has already given away these bondages. So, tapasvibhyo adhikaha yogi. Then comes the question that if at all you have done austerities in the past, and how do you do austerities? To stop the bad things, Either you stop doing bad things or keep doing good things. Both are antidotes on it. You feel like always earning more money and robbing somebody, then you keep doing donation. This is exactly antidote for that. This is called Pratipaksha Bhavana in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So when you try to do this in your previous life, God bestows you with a reward. Now, our stupid explanation is, if I don't do donation, next birth I will get a lot of money because I have donated in the previous birth. That may come or may not come. The biggest advantage that you get by giving these things to others, rather than you becoming greedy for things for yourself, the biggest advantage or the Lord's blessing comes to you in the form of rise in Sattva Guna. When that rise in Sattva Guna happens because of the previous births, then what happens? Then you get interested in scriptures and readings and philosophies and whatnot, which is called as Shastra Krupa. This Shastra Krupa is the step. The staircase is not the first floor, but you cannot reach first floor without the staircase. So staircase itself, if you stand on the staircase, you will not see the first floor. But if you walk on the staircase, you will leave the staircase and reach on the first floor. Similarly, Shastra Abhyasa is not Brahmadhyan, but Shastra Abhyas will lead to the Brahmadhyana. So till the time somebody who has not yet started climbing the stairs, taking the Shastra in hand, because that will not happen unless Sattva Guna is there, which is to be obtained through tapas. Once that Sattva Guna is there and you start studying the scriptures, you will get the idea of what is what. You have not visited Las Vegas, but you can read about Las Vegas and imagine what it would be. Experiencing the Las Vegas is a distant thing. This is called Paroksha Jnanam. So tapas leads to great amount of Sattva Guna, feeling interested in scriptural studies, and not only is feeling interested, you understand also faster. In our satsang or any other place, you will find some people find it much quicker. They understand it much faster, while some take time. And we say, oh, he is very intelligent. Sir, there is no intelligence comparison here in sadhana. It is just that he started before you. You are in 3rd standard, he is in 6th standard. You see, right now you are sitting together, but his 3 standards are already completed earlier. So such a person who is pursuing Paroksha Jnana through the study of scripture, which is referred here as Jnani, this Jnani is not that Brahma Jnani. This is a Paroksha Jnani. So, Yogi Jnani Bhyo Api. Even to these Jnanis, naturally, because he is reading while he has experienced Anubhuti. Raman Maharshi did not know a single scripture, but he was already a realized soul. After realization, with the help of the disciple, he started reading all the Advaita Granthas, and his reactions were very funny. When the disciple who was reading used to read anything from Bhagavad Gita or from any Advaita Grantha, he used to say, yes, this is correct. Yes, exactly. This is what happens. I know this happens. Why? A person of experience was reaffirming through the scriptures. We read scriptures and then try to experience. He experienced and then tried to read the scriptures. So, Jnani Bhyo Api Mat Adhikaha. They are thought to be superior. Karmibhyascha, karmibhihi cha adhiko yogi. Even yogi is superior to karma. Now, here Himanshuji referred to karma yoga, jnana yoga, that comparison. There are 2 different comparisons that should be kept in mind. Comparison between different paths to realize the goal. They are called as pathadhikyata. Jnana yoga, raja yoga, bhakti yoga. These are independent, separate, viable ways or paths to reach the destination. So Mount Everest has got eastern ascent, western ascent, southern ascent from China side, which is most difficult. So there are different ways of reaching. That is called as comparison between this is not comparison within one track. Right now, what the Bhagavad Gita is talking about is comparing them in the form of both the different ways and within the way, higher and the lower, and different parts. Simultaneously, both are compared. So there is patadikyata and matadikyata. Both is involved here. Karmibhya, karmibhya means the one who feels purva mimamsa. Prabhakar Bhatta, Kumaril Bhatta, or Mandan Mishra for that matter, Mandan Mishra's Gurudev for that matter. Kumaril Bhatta was such a accomplished Purva-Mimamsi that world's worst punishment he was taking just for the sake of Prayashchit, because it is written in Purva-Mimamsa. The enormous amount of Shraddha that he had on Purva-Mimamsa, that is Veda, leading to an absolute pious life through Nitya Naimittika and Prayashchita karma only, and avoiding completely Kamya karma or keeping Kamya karma as per the Vedas. However, all the karmas or the rituals which are contained there in Purva-Mimamsa as Tattva-jnana and Brahmana Samhita portion of the Veda as the elaborate procedures are ultimately meant for some phalam. Brahma Prapti, Atma-jnana, Brahma-jnana is not phalam. Phalam has a Karya-Karana bhav. Brahma Prapti has no Karya Karana bhav, because it is the Karana of Karana, Karya of Karya. So in that sense, even Karmi, Karma Puji or Karma Margi, even if he is high excellence, still he is not as comparable to Yogi. That is why Arjuna, you may be feeling that I have done my karma as a warrior very nicely. Still remember, it is karma only. Karma cannot be superior to jnana. That is Brahma jnana. That is why you strive and go upwards. Ut yuja. Go up and get united. Ut yuja udyoga. Tasmat Arjuna udyogi bhava. Rise from your place. Rise awake and stop not till the goal is reached. Uttishta jagrata prapya varan nibodhat. So there are tapasas available of different types. There is a tapas called Karchru tapa. There is a tapas called Chandrayana tapa. In Chandrayana tapa, you have one bowl of food. On the full moon day, don't eat anything. Then on the first day of moon, eat one bowl, one bite. Then keep increasing bite to 15 bite after the fortnight. And then again Amausya, you fast. Then from Amausya to Purnima further, again start reducing from 15 to 14 to 13 to 12 to one bite. This is called Chandrayana Vat. Karchru Vrata. In Karchur Vrata, what you do? You eat only once in the morning for 3 days. Then next 3 days, sit at one place. If somebody gives you food, then only eat once. And next 3 days, that is 7th, 8th, 9th day, fast. This is called Karchru Vrata. There is Ati Karchru Vrata also. So all these vratas are nothing else but austerities to win over your senses, the study of Shamadama. It has a lot of relevance for purifying the chitta. Tapa yajna jnana. Yajna jnana tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. 18th adhyaya. So for the pavanani, for the purification of manishinam art, these are required. However, yogi starts climbing beyond this pavanamana. Yogi has already done Chitta Shuddhi. So those who are undertaking Chitta Shuddhi tapas cannot be compared to the Yogi Arjuna. That is why Gurudev calls this Jnani as those who have read vigorously the scriptures. To all those Pandits we call, oh, he is so knowledgeable, he has got so much knowledge, he reads a lot. And the way he talks and the way all this is Panditya. This will not serve alone the purpose. Kabir Maharaj says, Pandit or Masalchi. Masalchi matlab one who holds the mashal, the fire in the hand. Pandit और मसालची दोनों सूझे नाही, औरन को करे चांदना, खुद अंधेरे माही. They themselves are in darkness because the jnanam is not there. Now, so far, so good. Lord has already said, between the one who is doing tapas, between the one who is having paroksha jnana, and between the one who is doing karma, yogi is the great. Agreed. Easy to understand. We feel that this is where the Atma Sanyaman yoga should end. But the real mystical part comes into the next shloka. Yoginam api sarvesham. Now the matter has become complicated. So far, yogi was the great. But suddenly the Bhagavan is saying, Yoginam api sarvesham. Sarvesham saptami aage. In the yogis, that means there are different types of yogis also. So that means yogi itself is of different types. Now we need to understand how they can be of different types, because yoginam api sarvesham. Saptami has already come there. There is one amongst those different types of yogis, madgatena, the one who reaches me or merges with me, antar atmana. Atmana tritiya. Antaratma different, not antaratma. Not to be confused with antaratma. Antaratmana. Atmana is tritiya. By the self. One who merges. One who merges with the inner self, with tritiya, instrumental case. So that means there are different types of yogis, Arjuna. In those different types of yogis, the one who merges himself, his inner self, in me, Madgatena, is the highest of the lot. Now the question is, because the one who has already achieved the Chitta Shuddhi, see, the one who has done Satkarya in his earlier birth only will feel like taking the name of the God. Otherwise, it is impossible. So first of all, the entire population gets divided into two. One who is simply not interested in God. They are simply interested in making as much exploitation of this birth as much possible. Keep more money, this, that, all material things. Then by fluke, in case he has tried to help others, if there is some niswartha kama he has done, karma he has done, then he will start getting trickle of sattva guna, which will lead to study of scriptures. Study of scriptures will lead to purification of mind. And after the purification of mind is done, one who is not at all now interested in anything that has to do with the sensual pleasure, such a person can then be eligible for going for what is called as dhyana, dharana, samadhi. The dhyana is the lower step, which is nothing else but, as Gurudeva said, it is definitely initially a deliberate act. Both the things are important. In the beginning, because then there is sahajata. In the beginning, deliberate act of striving to keep channels in the direction of predetermined divine line of thinking. That means you take something in front of you so that you can concentrate your thoughts on that and forget everything else. Forgetting everything else is called vyutthana. You work against vyutthana, going away. And focusing on one is called ekagrata. When ekagrata becomes natural state, it becomes niruddhata. That is why Gurudev says there are many types of meditation. Pratika upasana. You have to have some symbol, because it is not the cup of tea for an initial yogi to contemplate upon nirguna nirakara. Because nirguna nirakara you can't imagine. How can you contemplate on that? That requires an enormous amount of capacity, which comes over the period of time. So there is a yogi who starts contemplating or doing ekagrata on pratika called pratika upasana. Pratika upasana can be in the form of human form, that is Narayana, Krishna in the flute and all that, or it could be in a symbolic form, Shivalinga or Shaligram for the Vishnu, You presume that it is not a stone, but it is Vishnu and start contemplating on that. You are actually looking at the Shaligram, thinking of the Vishnu. This is called Pratik Upasana. There is also called Ahangraha Upasana. You think yourself as Vishnu. Ahamgraha. I am Shankara. And start thinking about it. That is also the way of doing Upasana. And then comes the last one where you don't have anything in front of you. Nirguna Nirakara Upasana. In such cases, as Gurudeva says, it could be a teacher, a guru, kundalini, anything, but you do keep meditating on that. Then what happens? That once this is done, then you start getting into the higher stage where you dedicate yourself to the Lord. So your presence inch by inch becomes zero. This is called pouring out your ego, dissolving the ego by one percentage each at one time. It's a process that may take many births or one birth. We don't know, depends upon the preparation. Somebody can take a literal flight for this dissolution of ego, which is called Vihanga Marga. Somebody might just go crawling to the top. It is called Pippalika Marga. In either way, what you are doing is Krudikaran of Ahankara, shaping down your Ahankar, bringing it down to almost zero. That is called Asmitalaya. Because Asmitalaya, when it is done, then you are going to the den of original Mula Prakriti. Mula Prakriti is the last knock on what? On something which doesn't exist, because existence itself is the nature of that existence. That is why a person who is doing this kind of sadhana, who is considered to be greater. Why? Because he has no ego. Na ibtada ki khabar, na intaha maloom. I am not aware of the beginning. I am not aware of the end. Raha ye vaham ki hum hai. Wo bhi kya maloom? Now the only doubt is whether I exist or not. That also I don't know. अब खुदी के बाहर हूं इश्क कफनी पहनकर हर रंग में चोला रंगा दीदार अपना हो गया. Kabir Maharaj says, there is no me anywhere in this. I am not there. The meditator is gone. Why? Where is he gone? There is no meditator because the meditator has merged with the object of meditation. That is why meditation is over. This is called Madgatena Atmana. And this, while this is to be happen, it requires enormous amount of faith. The last journey is a pathless land. It is such a lonely and forlorn area that the only thing that comes to the rescue is Alamban of Guru or Shastra. Shastra and Guru are not different. Veda is Guru, Guru is Ved. So Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhya Avadharanam Sasraddha Katitha Sadbhiryaya Vastu Upalabhyate. Vastu means Brahmapada. In me. Lord says, in me is Vastu. So that is why the only way to go there is by removing your ego. Pouring your ego out is called bhajana. The highest Vedantic definition given by Gurudeva. Pouring your ego. And when the ego is completely gone, where is the meditator? No, sir. There are no two consciousness existing. One consciousness praying for another consciousness or full consciousness. No, nothing of that kind. Upadhi is gone. All outer coverings are gone. Evolution is complete. The doll of the salt has already been thrown into the sea. Now you can't find it out. It has become one with the salt of the sea. That is why whenever you are connected with the ego, that is still to be completed. Jab lag nata jagat ka tab bhakti na hoy. Nata tode har bhaje bhagat kahave soy. That he is called bhakta and he is the one who is doing bhajana. Bhajana means Lord doing his own presence enjoyment with himself. Gopa Gopi Radhika is not something, it is Bhagavan's Ladini Shakti. It is me loving myself in the form of something else. Bhakta and Parmeshwara is this nata. That is why bhakti is considered to be greater than mokshata or mumuksha. That is the reason why this particular ending last shloka, Bhagavan has directly hinted at a highest level of yoga, which by Patanjali Maharaj's yoga, rather than savitarka, savichara, sa asmita, Arjuna, nirbija samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, dharma megha samadhi is the highest, because that is where you merge in me. In fact, there is no you to say that you are still there because meditation is over. Hari Om.